English online classes. Today we are going to discuss a story from your supplementary textbook. The name of the story is Bholi, written by K.A. Abbas. Let's know more about the writer first. K.A. Abbas, also known as Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, was born on 7th June 1914. He was an Indian film director, screenwriter, novelist, and a journalist in the Urdu, Hindi, and English languages. He won 4 national and 2 international awards. He was awarded the Padma Shri by the Government of India in 1969. Now let's move on to the summary of Bholi, written by K.A. Abbas. The story opens up with the introduction of a little girl named Sulekha. She was called Bholi for being a simpleton. Bholi was the 4th daughter of Nambedar Ramlal, who was an officer in the revenue department. She had fallen off the bed when she was just 10 months old. Some part of her brain was damaged. Because of that, she remained as a backward child. Therefore, she was called Bholi, the simpleton. At birth, Bholi was very fair and pretty. When she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Her eyes were saved, but her entire body was disfigured. She had deep black pock marks all over her body. Little Sulekha learned how to speak at 5. She stammered. Children often made fun of her, so Bholi talked very little. Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters. Bholi was the youngest one. It was a prosperous family. There were plenty to eat and drink. Every child was healthy except Bholi. The sons were sent to study in the city. Radha was already married. Mangala's marriage had been fixed. The third one was Champa. All the girls except Bholi were good looking and healthy. There was no difficulty in marrying them. Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. When Bholi was 7 years old, a primary school was opened in the village. The Tahsildar came to perform its opening ceremony. He asked Ramlal to set an example and send all his daughters to school. After hearing the Tahsildar, Ramlal discussed the matter with his wife. She at once rejected it by saying that it would become difficult for them to marry their educated daughters. Ramlal was now double-minded as he didn't want to disobey the Tahsildar, and on the other hand, his wife was also right. Finally, his wife suggested to send Bholi to school because, anyways, there were negligible chances for her to get married. The next morning, Ramlal took Bholi to school. Bholi was afraid of going to school as she was not aware of what school was. Bholi was remembered that a few days ago their cow Lakshmi had been sent out of home and her father got money in return for it. She thought that she too would be sold like Lakshmi and so pulled her hand away from her father's hand. Bholi's father got irritated with her behavior and shouted that he was taking her to school. He then told his wife to dress her up because he didn't want others to think bad about them. So, it was for the first time that Bholi got clean clothes to wear, although it was her elder sister Champa's worn out dress. She was bathed and her messy hair was washed and oiled. Such a treatment made her believe that she was going to some better place than her home. Upon reaching school, they found that children were already in their classrooms. Ramlal handed Bholi to the headmistress and left the place. Bholi's eyes were full of fear because it was the first time that she had gone out of home. There were a number of classrooms with many students in each one. They were sitting on the mats and were reading or writing. Bholi was taken to a classroom and was ordered to sit there by the headmistress. Bholi didn't know what exactly a school was like and what happened there, but she was glad to find so many girls almost of her own age present there. She hoped that one of these girls might become her friend. In the class, the lady teacher was teaching something, but Bholi could not understand it. She was just looking at the various pictures on the wall, which were beautiful. Bholi was attracted towards them. There was a picture of a brown horse that resembled the horse on which the Tahsildar had visited their village. There was also a picture of a green parrot which looked like the same parrots that she had seen in the mango orchard. There was also an image of a cow that resembled their own cow Lakshmi. While she was busy looking at the pictures, she realized that the teacher was standing near her. She asked Bholi her name. Bholi tried hard but stammered and could only say bho bho. After this, she began to cry and didn't dare to look up as she was sure that all the other girls would be laughing at her. When school was over, the teacher came to Bholi and called her by her name. Bholi was still crying with her head down. The teacher's voice was very soft and Bholi had never been addressed with such affection before. She felt so good that it touched her heart. The teacher tried to make her comfortable by her friendly manner. She asked her name again. Though Bholi was hesitant and nervous, she tried and was able to speak her full name. The teacher praised her for her attempt and said that if she shunned fear, she would be able to speak clearly. Bholi was surprised to hear that she could speak clearly. The teacher at once understood her curiosity and said that what she had said was true and that if she came to school every day, she would be able to speak without any problem. Then she inquired if Bholi would come to school the next day. Bholi gave her approval by moving her head in up and down direction. The teacher prompted her to speak it loudly. This encouraged Bholi and she spoke S clearly. She was surprised at her ability to speak clearly. The teacher again praised her and gave her a book full of pictures of dog, cat, goat, etc. with an alphabet written in big size along with every picture. The teacher said that when Bholi would complete that book, she would be given a bigger book and after that a still bigger book. She also told her that one day she would become an educated person in the village and people would respect her because of her knowledge and wisdom. Not only this, she would be able to speak clearly. With this, she asked her to come to school early the next morning. Bholi was very happy. Her heart felt a rare type of happiness, and she imagined that she could hear the bells at the temple ringing, and imagined that the trees outside the school had red-colored flowers on them. She felt a sudden beat in her heart that made her full of hope and happiness. Years passed, and the village grew into a small town. Her primary school was now a high school. There was a cinema under a tin shed, and a cotton ginning mill opened in her town. Even the mail train started to halt at the village railway station. One night, Ramlal was discussing with his wife that he had got a marriage offer for Bholi. He asked his wife whether to accept Bijambar's proposal or not. To this, his wife replied that they should definitely accept the proposal because it was suitable for Bholi. She supported her view by saying that Bijambar had a big shop, own house and cash deposit in the bank. Also, he was not asking for dowry. Ramlal was a bit unsure because Bijambar was of his own age and was handicapped. He also had grown-up children from his first marriage. His wife said that there was no harm in it if there was a big age gap between Bholi and the groom. She said that they could not find any other match for Bholi. She also said that as he was from another village, he may not know about Bholi's mental condition and her ugly face. Ramlal said that he was worried that how Bholi would react to it. But her mother replied that Bholi was like a dumb cow and would not say anything. Bholi was lying in her bed nearby and listening to her parents' conversation. The bridegroom, Bishambanath, was a rich man. He had a grocery shop where he used to sell food items and household goods. He had a good business. On the wedding day, he came with his friends and family. They were accompanied by a brass band which was playing a popular tune from Hindi movies. The bridegroom was riding a decorated horse. Ramlal was very happy to see all this. He had never dreamt of such a grand wedding for his fourth daughter. Bholi's elder sisters felt jealous of her good luck. Bholi was brought for the wedding rituals. She was dressed in a red silk sari. When she reached, one of Bishambar's friends asked him to garland the bride. As he was about to put the garland around her neck, a woman removed the veil that covered her face. He saw the blemishes on her face and at once objected to the marks on the bride's face. His friend answered that he should ignore this as he himself was not young to marry a young girl like her. Bishambar told Ramlal that he wanted 5,000 rupees in return for marrying an ugly woman like her. On hearing the bridegroom's demand, Ramlal got so upset that he went to him and kept his turban at his feet. He requested him to be considerate and requested him to accept 2,000 rupees instead of 5,000 as dowry. Bishambar was firm and said that he would keep his daughter at home then. Ramlal requested him not to do all this as it would ruin his pride in front of the whole village. But Bishambar was adamant on his demand of 5,000 rupees. Ramlal went inside and brought 5,000 rupees from the safe, counted the money and handed it over to Bishambar. Now the bridegroom was happy because he had won the bet. He asked for the garland. He was ready for the marriage. Bholi removed the cover of her face and stared at Bishambar. Her eyes were full of disrespect for him. There was no anger or hatred in her eyes. As Bishamber was about to garland her, she struck her hand at the garland as quick as a streak of lightning. The garland flew and fell into the sacred fire. She threw away her veil too. Holi addressed her father as Pitaji. Her voice was clear and she spoke without stammering. Her family was shocked to see this. She continued and said that her father should take back his money as she would not marry this man. Ramlal was shocked to hear all that. Even the relatives started whispering that the girl was shameless as she was refusing to the marriage. Ramlal grew angry and shouted at Bholi that she had gone mad because such an act of her could bring disgrace to their family. Bholi replied that it was for the sake of her family's honor that she had consented to marry the lame old man, but she was not ready to marry a greedy coward. An old woman commented that Bholi was a shameless girl, though they all thought that she was a dull and innocent girl. Bholi looked at her with extreme anger and said that everyone thought that she was a fool, and that is why they wanted to marry her off to an unkind man. They called her shameless because she could take a stand for herself. Bishambarnath and his friends and family started to return. The bandsmen were not sure of what was happening. They thought that the marriage ceremony had completed and so started playing the music related to the ending of a wedding ceremony. Ramlal was in deep sorrow. He was feeling ashamed. The flames of the sacred fire died after some time, and the gust too went away. He then asked Bholi that what would be her future now and who would marry her. Bholi replied that she would take care of both her parents and would teach in the same school that had made her learn so much. She sought approval from her teacher, who was quietly watching all the drama. She approved Bholi's statement. She was deeply satisfied with Bholi's response to the whole situation. It was similar to the way an artist feels when he sees his masterpiece once it is complete.
Hey everyone. Today's topic for discussion is regarding the story Bholi written by K. A. Abbas.
Bholi's real name is Sulekha. We are told this right at the beginning. But only in the last but one paragraph of the story is Bholi called Sulekha again. Why do you think she is called Sulekha at that point in the story?
The word Bholi means a simpleton. Throughout the story, she had been a simpleton who hardly expressed her opinion on any matter. The word Sulekha means a person with a beautiful sense of letters. In the story, this word has a larger meaning of being a literate, intelligent, and mature individual. After her education, Bholi has really changed to Sulekha, and her assertion at the time of her marriage is her announcement to the world that she is no more Bholi, but is a Sulekha.
Dowry is negation of the girl's dignity. Can you explain it with reference to the story?
A girl is an individual in her own right. Equal opportunities in life can help her become independent and strong. She is not a burdensome object to be given away with money as compensation. Thus, dowry negates the girl's dignity and self-respect. The story, Bholi, shows this in a dramatic manner. Bholi was thought to be ugly and dumb by her parents. So, they were willing to pay dowry to an old man with a limp. Bholi, on the other hand, refused to marry that man. She was educated, assertive, and capable of taking care of herself. She dedicated her life to service of her parents and teaching at school.
Should girls be aware of their rights and assert them? Should girls and boys have the same rights, duties, and privileges? What are some of the ways in which society treats them differently? When we speak of human rights, do we differentiate between girls' rights and boys' rights?
Bholi chose a dignified life of service rather than surrendering herself to a greedy old man for the rest of her life. Education provides the required stimulus to overcome one's personal barriers. Can anyone explain the role of education in shaping the life of a child with respect to the lesson, Bholi?
Education is the answer to all social ills. Illiteracy and ignorance bring nothing but poverty, suffering, and misery. Bholi lacked confidence initially because of her disabilities. She was silent, timid, and weak in mind. Her ugliness and her stammer did not let her progress. She was afraid to speak as others make fun of her. School changed her life completely. It opened a new world of hope for her. Her teacher treated her with love and kindness. Her affection and support helped Bholi to have faith in herself. She studied and grew into a confident young woman. She knew her rights and she asserted them as well. She refused to marry a man who demanded dowry. Thus, being educated changed the life of Bholi.
Mom, can you explain the character sketch of Bholi's teacher who taught at the primary village school?
The lady teacher who taught Bholi's class was really an ideal teacher. She had all the mobility and maturity that are the hallmarks of her profession. She was kind-hearted and understanding. She knew how to deal with a child of special needs like Bholi. When she noticed her, she smiled and asked her name. Bholi stammered, "Bho, bho, bho." The girls laughed, but the teacher assured her. The teacher's voice was soft and soothing. She again asked to tell her name. It was not a command. All her life she had never been called like that. The teacher persisted in her efforts to make her pronounce her full name without stammering. And she did succeed. Bholi pronounced bh, bho, Bholi. Even Bholi was surprised at how she was able to say it. With affection and tender love, the teacher dealt with the unfortunate child. She gave her a book of pictures and hoped she would finish it within a month. She assured Bholi that one day she would be more learned than anybody else in the village. The teacher had all along stood in a corner during the wedding day of Bholi. She was watching the whole drama. She heard Bholi say that she would teach in the same school where she had learned so much. Bholi looked towards for her confirmation. The teacher replied promptly, "Yes, Bholi, of course." What about Bishambar Nath? Bishambar Nath was a well-to-do grocer. He had a big shop. He had a house of his own and thousands of rupees in the bank. He was a widower. He had children from his first wife. They were quite grown up now. Bishambar was an unequal match for Bholi. He was almost of the age of her father. He limped too. But Bholi's parents thought him a good match for Bholi. He ignored his age and limping and accepted Bishambar's proposal of marriage. Of course, Bholi was not even consulted. Bishambar Nath wanted to dazzle Bholi's parents with his wealth. He came with a large party of friends and relatives for the wedding. A brass band moved ahead playing a popular filmy tune. Ramlal was overjoyed to see this pomp and grandeur. Bishambar Nath showed his true color when he found that the bride had pockmarks on her face. He shamelessly demanded 5,000 rupees as dowry to marry such a girl. Ramlal put even his turban at his feet. Bishambar didn't budge and Ramlal put a bundle of notes at his feet. Bishambar was rightly punished and humiliated in the end. The dumb cow got her tongue now. She threw away the wedding garland into the fire. She refused to marry such a mean, greedy and worthless man. Bholi did the right thing by rejecting such a person.
Can you explain the character sketch of Bholi in your own words, highlighting her transformation from a harmless dumb cow to a fearless and independent girl? Or Bholi was known to be a dumb cow. How did she turn out to be an outspoken and fearless girl?
Bholi was the youngest of Ramlal's 4 daughters. All other daughters were good-looking and healthy. Bholi was considered just a simpleton. Her stammering made her a stock of laughter for children. Her pock marks had disfigured her badly. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. She was like a harmless dumb cow who didn't know how to express herself properly. At birth, Bholi was very fair and pretty. When she was just 10 months old, she fell off her cot. Perhaps a part of her brain was damaged. When she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Her eyes were saved, but deep black pock marks disfigured her.
Bholi's teacher at the village primary school changed her life. In her teaching, she found a kind and helpful human being. She taught her how to pronounce her name properly. She gave Bholi all the confidence and encouragement that she needed so badly. The teacher assured that one day she would be more learned than anyone else in the village. Being an obedient child, Bholi didn't oppose the proposal of an old and lame person. She did so for the honor of the family. But when Bishambar insisted on demanding 5,000 rupees for marrying a girl with pock marks, she revolted. She threw the wedding garland into the fire. She refused to marry such a greedy and mean person. She also decided to serve her parents in their old age. She declared that she would teach in the same school where she had learned so much.
Bholi is a child different from others. This difference makes her an object of neglect and laughter. Society does not tolerate difference very easily. Bholi is not like others. She is slow for her age. She stammers when she speaks. Smallpox leaves her all covered with pock marks. As a result, she has to suffer a lot. Her parents do not even bathe her. She is ignored and neglected. They take her only as a burden. People laugh at her. Children imitate her when she speaks. So, she remains silent most of the time. She has no confidence or self esteem. Society must realize that it must accept those who are different. They must be treated with the same love and respect as others.
Put the fear out of your heart and you will be able to speak like anyone else. These words of encouragement from the teacher highlight that change of social attitude and encouragement can help a child like Bholi to become confident and face the world bravely.
Bholi suffered a weak mind due to her accident, falling from her cot during her infancy. She also started to stammer while speaking. Then she became ugly due to pock marks on her face and body on contracting the smallpox disease. All these made her family and other children treat her badly, resulting in her becoming an introvert. To help such children face the world bravely, we must treat them with love and affection and encourage them to join mainstream society. We must not mock their disabilities, instead, we should give them hope that they can be as good as the other children by motivating and uplifting them.
Should girls be aware of their rights and assert them? Should girls and boys have the same rights, duties, and privileges? What are some of the ways in which society treats them differently? When we speak of human rights, do we differentiate between girls' rights and boys' rights?
Yes, there is a differentiation between girls' and boys' rights. Although equal in the eyes of law, society treats them differently. Parents spend more on a boy's education than that of a girl. A girl is just trained to be a wife and mother. Boys have special privileges in matters of food, career, or freedom. Girls must be aware of their rights to exercise them. They must utilize their education to preserve their self-reliance and dignity. They must be ready to demand their due and even fight for it.
Yes, you are right.
Now I would like to thank everyone for participating in the discussion. Thank you once again.